Alright, let's talk about something a little heavy: the quiet shame, the regrets that echo in your mind, the mistakes you can't seem to let go of. Because if you're anything like me, you've probably got a few moments that haunt you, a few things that you wish you could go back and undo, a few words you wish you could unsay, a few choices you wish you could unmake. And if you're being honest, you still carry that weight. You still punish yourself for it. You still replay the moments in your head. So, why is it hard to forgive yourself? Why do you hold on to your mistakes like they're some kind of punishment you deserve? Why do you keep digging up old wounds, scratching at old scars, reminding yourself of every time you fell short? I think a lot of it comes down to this. We don't just see our mistakes as something we did, we see themselves as something we are. It's not just I said something hurtful once, it's I am a hurtful person. It's not just I failed at something I cared about, it's I am a failure. We take our worst moments and turn them into our identity. We define ourselves by our lowest points. We wear our shame like a second skin. And maybe a part of you thinks that you deserve it. Maybe you believe that holding on to your guilt somehow makes you a better person. That if you keep punishing yourself, you will finally atone for whatever it is you think you did wrong. But that is not how it works. You don't become a better person by healing yourself. You don't heal by tearing yourself down. If anything, the more you cling to that self blame, the more you reinforce the idea that you're unworthy of compassion, not even from yourself. And maybe it goes deeper than just one mistake. Maybe you've convinced yourself that you're unworthy of forgiveness because you've never felt fully seen. Maybe you grew up to feeling like love had to be earned, like worth had to be proven, like mistakes were fatal flaws, not just a part of being human. So now, every time you mess up, it feels like confirmation of the worst things that you believed about yourself. And if you keep telling yourself that story long enough, you start to believe it. You start to believe that you are broken, that you are a burden, that you are too flawed to be loved, too messed to be forgiven. But you know what? Self forgiveness is not about letting yourself off the hook. It's not about pretending you've never hurt anyone or ignoring the impact of your actions. It's about acknowledging your humanity. It's about letting yourself be a person, not a perfect, untouchable, unbreakable image of who you think you're supposed to be. It's about learning to hold yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend. It's about learning to say, yeah, I messed up, but that does not define me. That does not cancel out all the good that I've done. That does not make me unworthy of love. So, how do you do that? How do you start letting go of the shame, the regret, the endless cycles of self blame? You start by being honest with yourself. You stop telling yourself that you are the worst thing you've ever done. Stop defining yourself by your darkest moments. You stop clinging to the version of you that made those mistakes. And you start choosing a different story. You start saying, okay, I messed up, but I'm still here. I'm still trying. I'm still learning. And you start believing that you're worthy of compassion, even when you're not perfect. And you start letting yourself off the hook. Not because you don't care, but because you do. Because you deserve the same grace you would offer anyone else. Because you deserve a life that isn't defined by shame. So if you're holding on to something, if you've been punishing yourself for a mistake you've made, if you've been carrying a weight that no one else can see, I want you to hear this. You're more than your worst moment. You're more than the things you regret. You're more than the sum of your mistakes. And you deserve to forgive yourself. Not because you're perfect, but because you are a human. Not because you've never hurt anyone, but because you're still trying to get better. So let it go. Choose yourself. Choose compassion. Choose a story that does not end in shame. Drop a comment if you've ever felt like this. If you've ever struggled to forgive yourself. Let's talk about it. Let's get better together.